Talk to anyone about Man United's current malaise that has seen them fall 22 points behind Man City as they fast approach 9 years without a title, and you will hear 100 different answers about their various problems. The vast majority, however, will suggest that United need to strengthen in two significant areas: central midfield and right back. But whilst we at Football Daily have spent years chastising the club for failing to recruit the top-class central midfielder they so badly need, the situation at right back has become almost as alarming. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was signed for €59 million in June 2019, still the 12th largest fee ever paid for a defender. But just 2.5 years on, the 24-year-old has failed to develop as expected, with his lack of comfort on the ball a major problem in build-up. Although there are huge hopes for the homegrown Ethan Laird, and Diogo Dalot has shown he might be worth holding on to, it's clear that Man United need to sign yet another right-back in 2022. Welcome back to Scout Report. Today we want to assess the strengths and weaknesses of three potential candidates. Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Whilst Nordi Mukiele has an excellent case to be United's long-term right-back, having performed consistently for RB Leipzig for the last 4 years, after being signed by Ralf Rangnick, having recently profiled him on a December Scout Report, we wanted to put forward three fresh suggestions. Our opening player is someone who has gone under the radar for far too long now: Napoli's Giovanni Di Lorenzo. The 28-year-old has had to graft and graft to get where he is. He only spent one of his first 7 years as a professional playing as high as Serie B, and was 25 when he finally made his top-flight debut with Empoli in August 2018. Within a year he had moved to Napoli in an €8 million deal and instantly became a first-team regular, making 43 appearances across 2018-19, playing every minute of their Champions League campaign and helping the partner pay beat Juve to the 2020 Coppa Italia. In terms of his strengths, well, firstly, unlike so many of his potential United colleagues, he is incredibly fit, missing just 10 league games over the last 4 completed seasons and playing the full 90 in all of Napoli's 25 League and Europa League games to date this campaign. Having made 6 appearances during Italy's triumphant Euros, Di Lorenzo's numbers suggest he could do with the rest. After a career-high 9 goals and assists in 36 league games in 2021, he's only managed 2 in 19 this time around, with his shot-creating actions dropping from 2.2 to 1.6. But whilst Di Lorenzo hasn't been at his rampaging best with the ball, he continues to maintain his solid defensive numbers. His 64% tackle success rate this season, while significantly worse than Wan-Bissaka's otherworldly 95%, is only just topped by Reece James's 67% and is better than Cancelo's 59% and Trent's 53%. With Spalletti instructing his forwards to press relentlessly from the front, with Milan the only Italian side to top their 697 pressures in the final third, Di Lorenzo's job has evolved into one more akin to Kyle Walker this campaign, namely covering counter-attacks and maintaining and progressing possession. He's averaging 66 passes per game this season, with Cancelo, Walker and Trent the only Premier League fullbacks to complete more, whilst his 89% pass accuracy ranks him in the top 5% of fullbacks in Europe. He's not just playing it safe either, with his progressive passes, which are passes over 10 yards that travel towards the opponent's goal, standing at 5.7 per 90 over the last year, close to double AWB's 3.3 and more than Chelsea hero Reece James's 4.6. Not only that, but he is one of just 4 players in Serie A, along with Candreva, Maxime Lopez and Brozovic, to complete 100 progressive passes to date, with his 103 topped by just 3 fullbacks in Europe. There are 2 issues with Di Lorenzo, however. Not only is the 6-foot fullback 28, the same age as Maguire and Varane, suggesting United would have to rebuild the majority of their defence in just a few years should they sign him, but he's already rejected their advances in 2020, signing a new 5-year deal instead. With 4.5 years left to run on his deal and a transfer market valuation of €27 million, Di Lorenzo won't come cheap. And with Napoli almost certain to be playing Champions League football next season, and with the Red Devils' future less clear, he might be prepared to turn them down once again. Tariq Lamptey. Tariq Lamptey has played 32 games of Premier League football, 25 of which have been starts at the time of writing. Since the start of last season, Lamptey has missed 35 games with 4 separate issues. Signing Lamptey would certainly represent a risk, and after wasting £50 million on Wan-Bissaka after just 42 league games, United can't afford to get this one wrong. But whilst Wan-Bissaka's flaws, namely his inability to retain possession let alone make game-altering passes when over the halfway line, were evident even at Crystal Palace, Lamptey doesn't appear to have any serious weaknesses. The 21-year-old took the brave decision to leave his boyhood club Chelsea after just 3 appearances, which included a spectacular Premier League debut against Arsenal, and joined Brighton on January 31st, 2020 for a reported fee of just €3.6 million. Whilst 2020-21, his first full year on the South Coast, saw Lamptey miss over 8 months of the campaign. Since mid-October, he's become a regular in the Seagulls lineup, even featuring in 12 successive matches. Whilst Potter is clearly being careful with him, benching him for their New Year's Day clash with Everton, their 3rd match in 7 days, the signs are encouraging. In his 676 minutes so far this season, already 76% of his total from 2021, Lamptey has averaged 3.4 tackles interceptions per 90, whilst his boundless energy and excellent reading of the game has seen him average 4.1 successful pressures per 90. For context, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who some United fans still call the best defensive right back in Europe, averages just 2.8 successful pressures, showing that whilst he may be able to execute eye-catching sliding tackles, his understanding of how, why and when to press still needs work. On the ball, Lamptey is extremely competent, ranking in the top 8% of fullbacks in Europe for shot creating actions, progressive carries, dribbles completed, touches in the opposition box and progressive passes received. His progressive carry statistics are particularly notable, with 8 per 90, topping elite fullbacks like Andy Robertson and Hakimi 6.9 and 6.7 respectively. Even if Rangnick does eventually move upstairs this summer, you can bet that his replacement will also value the width and attacking threat that Lamptey could provide, in arguably modern football's most important position. Yes, he comes with a risk given his relative lack of experience, but his performances thus far for Brighton suggest it won't be long before a Champions League club comes calling. With injuries having seen his value flatline at just under €20 million for the last year, a club as shrewd as Brighton would surely be willing to accept a bid of €40 million and a €37 million profit on a player they signed just 2 years ago. We can definitely see this one happening. Noussair Mazraoui. It feels like Noussair Mazraoui has been around forever, but yet he only turned 24 in November. One of just 7 of the 22 players that featured in Ajax's Champions League semi-final run in 2019 to still be at the club, the Moroccan's 1920 and 2021 seasons were plagued by injury. He missed 32 games with 8 injury issues, meaning he played less than 2,000 league minutes across both campaigns. This year, it's been a different story, with Mazraoui featuring in 20 of Ajax's first 21 League and Champions League games until mid-December. Unfortunately, the right-back then succumbed to yet another injury, but his performances up until then suggested that he could well be a valuable addition for United. An excellent all-round footballer, he's averaged 3.2 shot creating actions per 90 this term, 0.5 more than Jadon Sancho, as well as 1.7 dribbles per 90, a figure that only Aït-Nouri out of all Premier League defenders can top. Capable of bringing players onto him before evading them with quick feet and a change of pace, it's no surprise to see him complete 59% of his dribbles in the Champions League this season, 12% more than João Cancelo, as Ajax finished with a faultless group stage record. Factor in that he's also averaging 3.2 tackles per 90 in Europe's premier competition, 0.7 more than Wan-Bissaka despite Ajax seeing 9% more possession, and you begin to realise why we think he's such a special talent. For United to achieve their stated objectives over the next 2 or 3 years of competing for and winning major trophies, they need to get the best out of their most talented players. And although he hasn't shown it so far, Jadon Sancho certainly comes into that category. Having shown his best form when playing in front of the dynamic Achraf Hakimi, the Englishman relies on players being able to anticipate his intelligent runs after exchanging possession. Last season he received 9.5 progressive passes per 90, which led to 5.9 touches in the opposition penalty area every game. This year, playing in front of the struggling Wan-Bissaka, that has dropped to 6 progressive passes received and just 4.2 touches in the opposition penalty area. Although more akin to Meunier than Hakimi in terms of playing style, Mazraoui has still averaged 3.8 touches in the opposition box per game, compared to Wan-Bissaka's 1.1 and Dalot's 1.8, suggesting the Moroccan will be able to combine effectively with the forward-thinking Sancho. Given his injury record, it's an absolute blessing that Mazraoui will become a free agent this summer. Strongly linked with a move to Barcelona, he'd be a low-risk solution to United's right-back problem. We suggest they look to sign him as soon as possible. So guys, those were our 3 shouts at right back to fix Man United's problem there. What did you guys think of our suggestions? Did we miss anyone out, and which one was your favourite? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like it, leave a comment and subscribe to Eurofootball Daily, and I'll catch you next time.